Hello and welcome. A man of many talents, his face is instantly recognizable to moviegoers in both the East and the West. With powerful performances in a wide range of films, directors often cast him for his depth of expression. This week on One on One, meet the highly awarded Indian actor and stage star, Naseer Shah. His interest in acting began at an early age, taking him through drama school in 1973 and leading to his acting debut in Shyam Benegal's 1975 movie Nishant. Naseer Shah took a career path that many in India in the late 1970s and 1980s saw as new wave, often accepting roles that were more offbeat from the mainstream Bollywood offering. His versatility across the board won him awards and accolades from early on.
Dubey, सफेद तंबू?
यस सर।
ओ यस सर क्या कर रहा है यार तुम? ये सफेद तंबू कभी देखा तूने जिंदगी में?
नहीं सर, आजकल इन्हीं का फैशन चल रहा है सर, मिलेनियम स्टाइल फैशन Y2K.
शादी में सफेद तंबू देखा कभी तूने? शादी है कि जनाजा निकल रहा है? सर देख दुबे, एक ही बिटिया है मेरी, ऐसी सफेद तंबू वंबू नहीं चाहिए मेरे को, कुछ लाल पीला हरा नीला कुछ होना चाहिए, रंगीन कनात होनी चाहिए।
ओके सर ओके। यादव भैया उतारो ये नहीं चाहिए, ओल्ड फैशन चाहिए, लाल पीला हरा।
Western audiences got to know him through what some consider crossover movies, such as Monsoon Wedding, and a Hollywood blockbuster, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where he played Captain Nemo alongside Sean Connery.
Rumor has it that you're a pirate.
I'd prefer a less provocative title.
I'm sure you would.
An eccentric role he now questions the wisdom of accepting. Either way, Shah will clearly never be shy when it comes to tackling challenging and often controversial acting parts. Naseer, it's great to talk with you.
Thanks, Riz.
And of course, you're one of these actors that people see in the East and the West. They see you in Hollywood productions, in Bollywood productions. How easy is it to balance both the East and the West thing?
Not difficult at all, because I think that the language which I am most comfortable in is English, because I was in an English medium school from the age of 5. I think in English, and through school, through university, one always worked in English on the stage, and it was a great dream to get into a Hollywood film, and which was finally fulfilled with this big budget monstrosity called The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I will ask you about that because I've read your comments on that. But I do have to ask you, I mean, Bollywood itself obviously has been bread and butter for you, and you've done a whole range of stuff in Bollywood. When you look at the Indian film industry, has it, you know, people still think of it as this whole dancing, singing routine thing. Has it remained stuck in time, or has it moved along with the incredible pace that we see India as a sort of economy moving with?
I'd say what has improved is the packaging. What hasn't improved is the content. And we are still, as you said, stuck with either the song and dance formula or the very grim, ultra-serious issue-based films. And the issues, there doesn't seem to be a third issue in India apart from the exploitation of women and the exploitation of the landless laborers. And frankly, I'm sick of seeing films about these issues. I'm sure there are some other topics in this country, in our country, which we should tackle. And it's amazing how our filmmakers just don't seem to be bothered about them. It takes an Englishman to make a film on Gandhi. It takes a non-resident Indian to make a film on Godhra, and so on. We just seem to be stuck very badly within the Parsi theatre tradition, or the grim, what can you call them, dhoti and chappal epics.
Let's get back to that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
The League of Very Ordinary Gentlemen.
I can see the pain in your face. And I know I read how you said, you know, working on that was a complete bore. It was a huge budget movie, and of course, you know, it had a huge cast in it as well.
Yes, and Mr. Connery, who I have always loved, as I told him, and he didn't believe me, that I was a school child when I saw him play Bond in Dr. No. I was in class 9 or something, and I thought he was fabulous, and I've always continued to think that he's fabulous. And so it was a great thrill, and to meet him and to chat with him, to play a day of golf with him and so on was great fun.
I may have been overly rude earlier when I called you a pirate.
And I may have been overly charitable when I said I wasn't.
But the film, it went on forever. It was a 4-month schedule which stretched into 6 months in Prague, into the winter, which I could not bear, -17 and so on. And worst of all, the film was a bore. I don't think the filmmaker managed to capture anything of the zaniness of the comics.
Where do the crossover films, as they're called, fit in? The monsoon weddings and the Easter's East and stuff. In your eyes, what kind of position do they have? Are they something that could be a viable bridge between the industries?
Not among the big commercial industry and ours. I don't think so. Crossover, I think, is a slightly faulty term, because where are we crossing over from where to where? I don't understand it. It's a term that has been used by the Bombay actors, where anytime they get an international project, and crossover means I'm going to Hollywood. Like for the Tamil actors or the Telugu actors, crossover is coming to Bombay, to the Hindi movies. So the press invents many such terms like parallel cinema and experimental and new wave and alternative, and now it's multiplex cinema. I think they're significant films as films, and that's how they should be viewed. I don't think they should be thus labeled. And Monsoon Wedding was something really miraculous, because everywhere I go, in Poland, in the Czech Republic, in Australia, in Dubai, in America, everybody I meet who recognizes me says, this was it's just like my family. And I think that's the triumph of movie making. Not because it's an Indian film largely in English or anything like that. I think even if that film had been purely in Hindi or Punjabi, it would have still affected people the way it did.
I want to take you back to your childhood, because acting was something you wanted to do from a very early age. Why? What was that? What was it attracted you to that?
We're three brothers. I'm the youngest, and I was always told, I still am told by my older brothers, that you were always Baba's favorite. And I can recall being his favorite till I was about 4 or 5, and I don't know what happened then. That the tables turned and I ceased to be his favorite. I think it's because I was bad at studies and I was not interested in school and classes. I can recall being miserably unhappy as a child. Not because I was in boarding school. I did not miss home. I was sent away at the age of 5, all three of us were, to a school which was run by these Irish missionaries who were very, very harsh and cruel. And I can recall, even at the age of 7 or 8, reading Humpty Dumpty and pretending I was him, or being little Jack Horner, or whatever, anything that I could become to escape from myself. Without going into too much psychoanalysis, I really think that is one reason why people become actors. Because we all act as children. We all pretend we've been studying, or we haven't been smoking in the bathroom, and so on. And we all lie very convincingly. That's all good acting. Some of us lose the interest in doing that, and some of us don't. Those who don't,
you still
like
smoke
me,
secretly in the bathroom, huh?
I still smoke secretly in the bathroom. But those of us who don't are the ones who become actors. Those who have found a deep solace in being someone else, right from childhood. That's the only way I can explain it. And it always was a very enjoyable activity to pretend I was John Wayne, or pretend I was Clark Gable, or pretend I was Shammi Kapoor, with nobody watching. And I just felt this is the life I want to live. I remember feeling this from when I was about 10. I never wanted to be anything else except a cricket player. And I gave that dream up very quickly.
How did your parents react, especially your father, to the idea of you becoming an actor?
I started winning prizes for best acting and so on in school. He never ever came to see any of my work. He disapproved of it strongly. And I think the thought petrified him that I would want to grow up and be an actor. He wanted me to be something respectable, like a doctor or an engineer or an army man or something. And I never gave any of these professions a thought. And I gave him many sleepless nights because I was awful in class and I wasn't the least bit interested. The only thing I found an interest in was literature and in watching the way human beings behave. So he was in denial mode all his life. He thought, well, there's one of those things he's doing, but he'll get over it. He never did. I never did. And my big regret is he never lived to see the fact that I was not wrong in my decision, and that I was in a profession where I was respected. Every time I go to Rashtrapati Bhavan to get yet another award or to be decorated by the government, I think of him. And
he missed the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen as well, though.
The League of
What about your mother? What characteristic do you think the characteristics in your personality do you think she played a part in?
Complete supportiveness. She was uneducated. All she could read was the Quran, and she could read and write Urdu. So I would write letters to her in Urdu. I would unburden myself to her. She supported me unquestioningly. She never understood me one little bit, but yet it was an unconditional love and support. And that was a comfort. She would secretly not encourage me, but say, well, look, your father loses his temper, so don't say things so directly to him. And study. She did live long enough to see my success, and she felt very, very proud, and she would always wonder why I get bothered by people coming to ask for autographs and people who want to come and talk to me and so on. She would say, but why? They love you and they want to come and talk to you, so what's wrong with it? So she took great joy. She died very happy and contented, and she and my two brothers, I have to say, were a great source of strength. They were unconditional support.
Naseer, don't go away. We're going to take a very short break here on One on One. We'll be right back.